Was Eddy worth the friendship of the other Eds? I'm sure you all remember Ed, Edd and Eddy, the old spectacular Canadian-American animated comedy television series featuring the three preteen boys named Ed, also known as Double D because his name has two D's and to avoid confusion with the first Ed that I just mentioned, and Eddy, collectively known as the Eds, since their names all share variations in the name Ed. They all differ greatly in their personalities, as Ed is the dim-witted dog's body of the group, Double D is an inventor and a neat freak and the most intelligent of the Eds, and Eddy is a devious, quick-tempered, bitter con artist and the self-appointed leader of the Eds. The three devise plans to scam the cul-de-sac kids, the other kids in the show of course, out of their money with which they want to use to buy jawbreakers. But Eddy though, he may be perceived as the Ed with the worst character in terms of being mean and self-centered. It is quite evident in the show that he's mostly self-centered and hardly cares about his friends, Ed and Double D. Was he really worth their friendship? Stay tuned to find out. So hey guys, my name is Mayston, and welcome to the Noxious Oblongata, the only place on the YouTube streets where taking your imagination to the moon is never a problem because the sky's not the limit. Before we get to business, a quick life update on what's been going on my side. I haven't posted in about 2 months now. I've been crazy busy and caught up with real life work and stuff lately. You know, family and all that stuff. You know, basic human things, could I say. You know, we may all be under quarantine and lockdown, but, you know, life still gets busy. But I do plan on posting more. I am going to be uploading more consistently now, so stay tuned for that. I plan on posting not only cartoon videos though, as this is the Noxious Oblongata and we pretty much talk about anything here. And most people that check out my videos tend to think that my channel is only based on cartoons, but that's not the case really. Most people think that I only make videos about Ed, Edd and Eddy, but really that's not the case. So I'll be doing talks on movies, drama, world drama, internet drama, anything, really? So really, stay tuned for that. I thank you for the support that you've shown me. So stay tuned, thanks for all the support, subscribe if you haven't already, and back to business. I noticed that you've all been loving these Ed, Edd and Eddy videos, so here we go with another Ed, Edd and Eddy video. Eddy Skipper S. McGee is the self-appointed leader of the Eds. An ill-tempered and greedy con artist, he goes to great lengths to scam the other kids out of their money, even at the expense of his friends' credibility. His efforts are all in the pursuit of jawbreakers, which he loves as much as he does for money. For the record, it's not confirmed that his last name is McGee, just thought that I should add that. Ed has just called him that a few times in the show, so it's assumed that that's his last name. Food for thought, FYI, for the record, for your information. He can pretty much be described as a bad friend. He's selfish, an ignorant narcissistic, greedy and megalomaniac, is a coward, may have crab mentality, and shows signs of a Napoleon complex. As it makes it all pretty clear that he has all these traits, plus his friends are aware that he's such a selfish bad guy. Or at least Double D should be aware.
Head back into the swamp! My bro don't live!
Don't you dare touch me!
Nah, I'm pretty sure that Ed knows also. He's just too much of a nice guy and loves his friends for whatever reason. But why do Ed and Double D tolerate him though? I mean, he's clearly an awful guy. So let's learn more about Eddy Skipper S. McGee, the Ed Boy's personality. Eddy is one of the three protagonists in Ed, Edd and Eddy, and the self-appointed, ambitious leader of the Eds. Personality? Eddy is often selfish and mostly works for his own interests, sometimes even neglecting his friends. Because he is frequently over-ambitious, deceiving, loud, and power-hungry, his peers often socially reject him. Kevin describes him as being desperate on more than one occasion, as Eddy is indeed starved for social acceptance and he is irritated by the fact that his rival Kevin is the most popular kid, whereas he is not even as popular as Blank. A good example of his selfishness and greed is in Brother, Can You Spare an Ed? After manipulating Ed into buying jawbreakers instead of fudge for Sarah, Double D comes up with the idea of paying back Sarah with interest. Eddy, more for himself than for Sarah, comes up with a scam that has Kevin giving Double D and Ed painful wedgies and hanging them from a tree. And afterward, Eddy uses them as piñatas in a piñata scam with Johnny trying to get a prize out of them.
Catch! Whatever falls out, and it's yours to keep. That's how piñatas work, Johnny boy.
Piñatas? Me first, Johnny!
Cough up a quarter and go to town.
Right on! Here you go, Eddie. Give me that!
Johnny, please, open your eyes, lad! Do we look like piñatas?
A shoe? Boring!
Honestly, Eddy may be a messed up friend and all, but it's honestly funny to watch him do these things. That's what makes his character so unique. Like, who even does that, man? Wow! These scenes never get old. So, Eddy somewhat lives in his own world, in which everyone loves and admires him. In this world, he is more intelligent than Double D, and is the literal king of the cul-de-sac. This dream world was shown during his part of Johnny's bedtime story in Once Upon an Ed. Eddy is possibly paranoid of Kevin, as displayed in the Lack of the Ed episode. After Ed forgets where he hid Eddy's prized magazines, he suspects Kevin of stealing his magazines and that Ed, Double D, and Jimmy are all in on the imagined heist. Now, that episode was really a big one. It really showed a lot about Eddy. Now, that was just messed up because in the episode he puts his friends through some terrible moments all because of the magazines. I mean, it's really funny to watch, but Eddy was being really materialistic there. The magazines were clearly more important than his friends' feelings. And he gets to a point where he rips off Ed's eyebrow and takes Double D's hat. Okay, again, funny to watch, but very mean. I mean, Double D keeps his hair secret, and Eddy, well, he should have respected that, instead of, you know, seeing his magazines as more important. And well, Ed, his eyebrow taking his eyebrow, I mean, it's his eyebrow, man. How would you feel if your eyebrow was taken? And Eddy doing all that and putting his friends through a state of panic, making them do crazy things like steal Kevin's bike. He was acting really delusional with the imaginary heist, like bro, that was some really messed up behavior right there. And that all resulted in him putting his friends through so much trouble because of magazines. Eddy has also displayed cowardly behavior on more than one occasion, having saved his own hide or get free jawbreakers rather than help his friends. Despite his horrible treatment, he shows that he does care about them and really cherishes their friendship. Although there were some episodes who showed this trait, like in A Fistful of Ed or Mama's Little Ed, the most prominent one is in the movie, which matches with his character development. He saved Ed from an angry Rolf in the car chase, cried for an apology to Double D by admitting his faults, and smiles when Double D comforts him after showing remorse from his actions in the end of the movie. This paragraph itself could potentially be the reason to why the other Eds actually tolerate Eddy. Though these traits might seem to be definitive parts of his character on their own, they can also be easily explained. Many of his negative traits come from his brother, who according to Eddy also conned people, although much more successfully. His brother was accepted into society easily, and Eddy was respected because he was with him. After he left, Eddy decided to follow in his footsteps, but failed miserably in the process. His brother was popular because his scams and pranks worked, while Eddy's backfired and ended in him and his friends getting pummeled and walking away empty-handed. Eddy's brother was someone who people wanted to be around because he was fun and popular, despite in his only appearance seeming to be a ruthless bully. Eddy is known to hate birds. This is first shown in Vert Ed Go, when after the Eds retrieve a quarter from the sewer, a bird, possibly a seagull, flew in and took the quarter out of Eddy's hand and flew away. The bird shows up again when the Eds are looking at a tree and the bird's nest falls on Ed's head. Eddy realizing it is the bird and the bird flies away. Eddy says, "I hate birds," in Button Your Ed and will work for Ed. He is attacked by the warmongering rooster. In It Came From Outer Ed, crows were summoned by a curse made by Ed's scam, which caused them to attack the Eds.
But why?
Man, I hate birds.
Evil Tim is back in there!
Eddy has shown some level of intellect throughout the series by concocting efficient scams like the Thingamajig, Eddy's career counseling, the Ed Theater, and the Canadian squirt guns. To a degree, he shares with Double D the ability to make useful items out of scratch or random items lying around. For example, in Postcards from the Ed, he off-screen constructed the Eddy's world-class deluxe tour bus. Also, he built the Thingamajig with the help of Ed and Double D and possibly the Professor Scam flyer. He built the alien vacuum and constructed a few prototypes. He can also build the feared El Mongo stink bomb. Wow. While not as smart as Double D when it comes to straight up intelligence, Eddy does indeed possess a wide and immensely varied knowledge of pop culture. Several times throughout the series, he has made references to not only famous movies, actors, directors, but also to more sophisticated historical individuals such as Henry de Toulouse, Lautrec, and Mikhail Baryshnikov. Sorry man, I can't pronounce those, man. So forgive me if I pronounce those wrong. Them historical dudes got names for days, my dudes. So as we go in depth with Eddy, we get to learn that to a certain extent he's pretty smart and has the ability to make useful items out of scratch or random items, and he has some pretty great knowledge of pop culture. Probably just trying to keep up with trends so that people can think that he's cool and so that he could maybe fit in, you know. I mean, personally, I believe those are the reasons. But then again, you know, knowing historical figures, historical dudes, most people wouldn't find that as cool, you know. So maybe he's just genuinely smart. I don't know. I'll take that as like a 50-50 type of thing, you know, a 50-50 type of situation. Maybe he's smart, maybe he isn't. Maybe he's genuinely smart, correction, and maybe he isn't. But yeah, let's continue reading. However, in the movie, the reason of his behavior is explained. It turns out that all his selfish and mean traits were all a mask, only acting like his brother just to earn his brother's respect and be friends with everyone, which had the opposite effect and nearly lost his dear best friends because of his behavior. His true self is sad, misunderstood, and self-hating kid who yearned love and respect and was abused and mistreated his entire life. In my opinion, that's just messed up because, in other words, we could say that he put his friends through all that trouble just because he had all these self-hated negative feelings about himself and him wanting to be popular so bad. Dude, I personally wouldn't hang out with such a guy, honestly. I mean, we could say that we understand where he's coming from with all these feelings, but in the long run, his intentions aren't really good, and being loved and popular really isn't worth all that trouble. However, the show is pretty straightforward realistic with all this, and he's just hated for being such a jerk. Eddy is very sensitive about his height, which suggests he may have a Napoleon complex. Eddy detests school and has more than once tried to escape it. His report card not only has straight Fs, but also his comments filling up the entire reverse side of the card. His poor grades are more than likely due to a significant lack of effort on his part. His ideas for scams are regularly creative and clever, showing a great deal of intelligence. He taunts and jeers Sarah to the point where she loses her temper and seizes him and his friend. So, as we've read, he's pretty much effortless when it comes to doing schoolwork and on doing his scams with his friends. He'd usually not do any physical labor when it comes to his scams, and the other stuff like his cooking and his room isn't really important because I'm mostly talking about his behavior. But that does point out that he's quite knowledgeable of particular things like cooking and has a ritual lifestyle, pretty much more information learned about the guy really. Plus he has his Napoleon complex because he's sensitive or insecure about his height. Now that just sucks really, you know, you should be happy with your heights, my dudes. At home, Eddy loves his retro styled room. Some of the items inside it are a lava lamp, a large circular king-sized bed, a disco ball, and a turntable. Eddy also has a decent sized collection of vinyl records to go with the record player. Eddy is mostly seen commanding the two Eds into building the scams while he does either non-physical work or no work at all. He probably enjoys cooking as he often offers to make his friends lunch, especially buttery omelets. These omelets are often remarked upon by him, and it seems he is quite prideful of them to the point that he believes they are the best ever. He is also highly impatient and is unwilling to wait for even the smallest amount of time. This is best shown by his unwillingness to wait for a minute for a microwave burrito to cook in the episode Oath to an Ed. He also jumps to conclusions very quickly, to the point where he issues ultimatums to those he is falsely accusing, such as when he accused Ed and Double D of working for Kevin in The Luck of the Ed. It must be granted that he is very paranoid at the time, but he does regularly jump to conclusions about the guilt or innocence of others. The ultimatums he made were the same ones I spoke of earlier, the taking of Double D's hat and Ed's eyebrow. They had to find his magazines, otherwise he'd drop them in a sewer. He jumps to conclusions like crazy. Really, he's just been delusional in the episode.
You're very welcome, Kevin.
So what's with that? What did Kevin want, huh? What?
Kevin just asked for the time, Eddy.
Oh yeah? Well, I don't see a watch. Did you see a watch?
Look what I found, guys!
I tell you I love you, Ed, but I ain't that kind of guy.
Bravo, Ed. Bring on the grail.
A toothbrush! Finders keepers!
You guys must think I'm stupid or something. You're both in cahoots to steal my magazines.
And what will we do with your magazines, Eddy? My hat!
My eyebrow! But Eddy, I can't make funny faces without that!
Oh, wait, Ed, I'm not decent. Daddy, you wouldn't dare.
Don't come any closer, or the hat and the eyebrow get a one-way ticket down Sewerville. Now where's my magazines?
Eddy, gather whatever strand of logic you may have left. We don't know the whereabouts of your magazine.
One point of pride for Eddy is his big brother. Eddy's brother is his supposed idol, and Eddy is fast to point out ways in which he resembles his older brother. Eddy also frequently brings up his sibling, especially how he taught Eddy everything about scamming and how his brother ran the cul-de-sac before he left home. He also uses his brother as a threat more than once, notably in Ed, Pass It On. Even when it becomes clear to everyone in Ed and Eddy's Big Picture Show, Eddy doesn't confess how his brother isn't what he often claims to be until after his brother is knocked out. Now, that's a whole lot learned about Eddy. He's pretty much always looked up to his brother. So in short, he's a misunderstood kid with a somewhat bad background, mostly influenced by his brother, who he still looks up to so much, because his brother's bad behavior landed him into popularity, and he thinks that this is the way to go, even if it means that he's treating his friends badly. Another bonus trait I would like to add is Eddy's crab mentality. It's not mentioned in any of those things which I just read about his personality, but that's another trait that was clearly shown in the show. What is crab mentality though? Crab mentality, also known as crabs in a bucket, also barrel, basket, or pot mentality, is a way of thinking best described by the phrase, "If I can't have it, neither can you." The metaphor is derived from a pattern of behavior noted in crabs when they are trapped in a bucket. While one crab could easily escape, its efforts will be undermined by others, ensuring the group's collective demise. So as I read, it can be described by the phrase, "If I can't have it, neither can you." Or, if I'm going down, we're going down together. Wow, Eddy, my god. So, in the episode that we find out that his middle name is Skipper, the episode goes crazy and Kevin was the first to find out. So, Eddy tries by all means to please Kevin in hopes that he'll keep it a secret. But Kevin ends up telling the other cul-de-sac kids, and everyone makes fun of him.
Dude, that wasn't even remotely funny.
Which sounds like Dipper, rhymes with Flipper, is close to Zipper,
Shut up, Sarah!
but not a slipper. Well, what do you know? It's Skipper!
Say what?
Skipper, Skipper!
No way! Leave me alone!
Skipper, Skipper! See ya, Skipper!
Skipper
on, you jerk! You weren't supposed to tell anyone!
Oops, I forgot. Sorry, Skipper.
My god, you know, rewatching these scenes, takes me way back, wow. He's pretty mad and sad about it. Everyone has a good laugh about his name. Then, they all eventually leave. They made fun of him, the story's dead, he's left in his misery. Then foolishly, Double D tries to cheer him up, not knowing that he's giving Eddy ammunition to the weapon that he's going to use to kill Double D.
Skipper's a very, exceptional middle name. Be proud of it, because it will be with you for the rest of your life. Now, how about a smile? Eddy, if it makes you feel any better, I'll tell you my middle name.
Okay.
Well, Eddy, my middle name is Marion.
Marion? You gotta be kidding me! That's the girl's name! Ah!
Marion! Like that maid!
Hey, everybody! Listen up! Double D's middle name is...
Eddy, please don't!
Marion!
My aunt's name is Marion.
Double D, that's so cute!
Marion the Hungarian? No, Marion the librarian.
So he tells Eddy that his middle name is Miriam. Honestly, why would you name your son Miriam as a middle name? Imagine Double D tries to comfort him and Eddy just betrays him like that. Now that is crab mentality. He died, or he was made fun of. Yeah, let's put it that way. And he decides to bring Double D down with him. Come on, Double D, let's be miserable together. Sure. Double D comes with open arms. And there, we're miserable together. So, again, I pose the question. Why do Ed and Double D tolerate him, though? Well, these guys are like 12 years old. Kids, if you ask me. And I'm pretty sure that they do get older as the episodes and seasons progress. Kids or pre-teenagers can be rather submissive and not know how to handle such friends or situations. It's the same way in which peer pressure happens. As a young person, you'd get pressurized into doing particular things by your peers even if it's wrong. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Eddy is peer pressuring the Eds. However, I feel that to a certain extent he actually is. You tell me your opinion on that statement in the comments down below. Comment your thoughts down below on Eddy peer pressuring his friends. In many situations, when you're being bullied, oppressed, or treated badly as a kid, you usually only come to realize by yourself how wrong it is when you grow older. Now, this could be the same situation with Ed and Double D. Maybe they only tolerate Eddy because they don't realize how serious his actions are. But then again, he could be a genuine friend. Is he a genuine friend? Now, that's a big question right there. That question should establish why they tolerate him. So, is Eddy a genuine friend? The answer is yes. Even though he treats his friends bad and is a jerk, he has actually shown that he really does care about them. Though treating his friends this badly, it has been expressed that Eddy really does care for his friends. And he does have compassion and even lets Double D sleep over at his house in the episode Mama's Little Ed. And in Ed and Eddy's Big Picture Show, him and Double D saved Ed from an angry wolf. And lastly, he does express how much he really does care about his friends in Ed and Eddy's Big Picture Show. So, is Eddy really worth the friendship of the other Eds? I'll take that to be a yes. I feel that Ed and Double D see past his bad nature and see the good in him, even though he'd choose jawbreakers over his friends. In extreme situations, he actually wouldn't, and he does appreciate them. Again, it's really funny to watch Eddy with all these bad behaviors. He's an amazingly funny guy, and the show wouldn't be what it is without him. However, let me know what you think. Anyways guys, I thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Stay tuned as I'm gonna be posting more. Leave a like if you enjoyed watching and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MaceDawnChaos. Links to everything will be in the description down below. With everything happening in the world today, stay safe my dudes. Whether you're standing up to police brutality in the US or surviving the coronavirus, I wish you all the best. It's a cold, harsh world in which we live, So my dudes, really stay safe. Anyways guys, I will see you all later. Take care and bye bye guys.